Hello everyone, this is DireDerps and welcome to episode 84 of FTB Revelations, where today it's raining in my reactor dimension, but luckily there's a mod for that. I love it. Rain shield for the win. So last episode we had a little bit of, let's call it a mishap. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, right? Mishap? Is that a good way to put that? Boop. I'll remember how to place this thing eventually. And today I would like to make it a little bit better. So let's see. You're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So today we're going to not spend quite as much time on the Draconic Reactor, but I do want to get it up and running, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 total, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. One could almost call this series Counting with Dire. So we're very quickly going to, now that we have a better understanding of the Draconic Reactor, get it up and running. And we're probably going to set the thresholds where I want them to be right from the start. Cool? So we're going to basically, like, there ain't a lot to this. Cool. So we want flux gate going that way, right? Maybe not shift clicked. I think that I did this way, right? Yeah, and then we'll shift click this dude so that his energy is going out. So you're going to be the flux plug. Cool, going to the generators network. You're going to be the flux point, okay? And then without a redstone signal, actually your redstone signal high is actually stored, huh? You remembered that? Sweet. 550 and 525. And then what were you at? We might want to invert these. 500 and 250? Yeah, let's invert these. I didn't realize that you retained your settings, which is awesome, by the way. Because it means that we can keep the settings we had from before, right? So redstone signal high will be 100, or 500. So when we apply the redstone signal, we'll be getting more energy in, which is what we probably want. And then we can turn it off and get less energy going in, right? And then you... where redstone signal low was 525-ish is where we decided things were going to lay out, and that's where I accidentally made it 5.25 million and blew everything up. So yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. So now all we need is a little bit more awakened draconium get to work, and then you guys are all kind of good to go, right? That's it. I mean, without all the pomp and circumstance, it's actually pretty straightforward. Especially if you have the numbers already plugged in and ready to roll. So in theory, I'd like to see like how close we can get this shield protection thing, how low we can get it, so that we can use as little RF as possible to keep the shield running. Sound like a fair assessment? All right. So remember, 8 is the maximum amount of awakened draconium that we can get into the fuel slot. We can activate the charge. Whoosh. And I'm gonna give you 500 RF a tick with a high redstone signal. Sweet. So you should be doing 500. Without the signal on, it's 250, right? With it on, cool. Maybe I'll even make you like one. Well, no, I think 500 is fine with the redstone signal on. That should be okay. Yeah. Sweet. So we're activating the Draconic Reactor, right? We set this up last episode, so if you have no idea what's happening, go watch the prior episode. Right? Really simple. And that should be it. That's all you have to know. Cool. Redstone. Energy saturation. Once that hits 50%, we should be good. And then I think we have to get our temperature up, right? So we need energy saturation, then temperature, and then we can activate the reactor, right? I think that's the plan. So you're going to be 525 output at the low level. And then once this thing's energy saturation or temperature gets to the point where we want it, so 50% here starts the temperature climbing. Once temperature hits 2000 C is when we can activate the reactor. And once that happens, it's going to be go time. I mean, how cool does that reactor look, right? It's just so cool looking. So we have hit 2000 C, so now we can activate our reactor. And I'm going to turn off the redstone signal that only 250-ish RF a tick going in, right? And then what we should see is the reactor should stabilize itself to a degree, right? So you're outputting 525 at this point. Beautiful. The temperature is going to go up. Conversely, the containment strength is going to start to go down. Like right now, the temperature is low, right? And the field input rate is climbing to the 250 mark, right? But what's going to happen as soon as the temperature gets up higher, this thing's going to start to wobble and go downwards, right? And then we're going to have a lower containment strength. So basically at this point, all we need to do is wait for everything to stabilize and balance out. So we want our generation here to hit 525, right? So as our saturation goes down, generation approaches the 525 because that's what we've got this guy set to, right? And once that generation hits 525 and the temperature is at the right point, that's when we'll know that we've got a nice balanced reactor, and then we can see if we can pull down the field input strength a little bit. All right, we're back. So you remember last episode, before I accidentally blew this thing up, my temperature had gone above 8,000 C, and as a result, my containment field strength was way lower with the input. Like, it was like super low, remember? So basically 8,000 C is your cutoff temperature for like the cost of the containment field skyrocketing. So keeping your reactor below 8,000 C, I think, is kind of where you want to be. That's my understanding of this a little bit. So now with our containment field strength at 50% with an input of 225 or 250, right? Yeah, 250. So let's make your redstone high 250 here. And I'm going to make this 125 and see what happens to our containment field strength, right? So field input is going to drop, and if it gets too low or gets concerning, then what we can do is just flip the lever and we'll be okay. But I want to see how low I can make the RF input before we get to the danger zone of containment field, right? I think that sounds like a good idea. Not too shabby. We're getting a little bit into the red. But as long as we're above 1%, we should be fine. And that's kind of the game here, right? Like, how low can we go? We're playing chicken with the RF input. Like, I think we're going to be okay. So all total, this is going to bring us to... It's getting close. It's getting a little bit close. Maybe I should make you 130. I'm going to turn this on for a sec so I can change this without the fear of accidentally... 130 RF a tick going in. Like, I got a little nervous. We're playing chicken. I backed out. I swerved. 130. How are we looking here? Containment field strength. Is that what we're is that about where we're at? 130? As long as our containment field is at 1% or higher, we're cool, right? Oh man. I think we're going to be good, though. I think 125 might have been cutting it a little bit close. Oh, listen to it. It's like, what are you doing, Direwolf? What's happening, Direwolf? What are you doing, Direwolf? Look at how uncertain the sounds are getting. They're like, I don't know if I like this. Why is my field input, like, lower than 130, though? Make it 140, just to be safe? Like, how do we feel about that? $140 seems cool. Whew. It was a little bit close. A little bit close. I think we're going to do 140, and we're going to call that good. So we're producing close to 400,000 RF a tick. Full stop. Like, done. Reactor build complete. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. All right. I like it. I'm just going to keep an eye on it for a few minutes here, make sure everything's good. But you can see the containment field. It's doing okay. It's doing okay. All right, I think we're pretty stable at this point. Like, I haven't seen much of the fluctuations happen lately, so I'm gonna call that done. I'm gonna call that pretty good. All right, we could probably eke a little bit more power out of this thing if we really wanted to, but I'm gonna I'm gonna just play it safe and say that that's probably good, right? If we really wanted to like push this a little further, we could, right? We could draw a little bit more power out. We could have a little bit more field input. We could play with it a little bit, but I think we found a nice sweet spot, right? So in total, we've got 525 coming out, and we've got 140 going in. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure why the field input right here says 130 RF a tick, but I mean, whatever. It's all good. It's working, and it's stable, and that's all that worries me. So as long as we're happy, I'm happy. Cool. To home we go, and we're just going to let that run. And I did chunk load that, so it is chunk loaded, so we should be, you know, that's going to continue to run even when I'm not there, which is cool beans. And we also don't have one of those things that unloads the dimension when there's no players in it, so we should be fine there. So now we've surpassed the 1.2-ish million RF a tick point, right? So more than a million RF a tick being produced between our nuclear reactors, our fusion reactors, our draconic reactor. We've got some good stuff going on now. At this point, I'm almost like, maybe I should have done a tier 8 energy orb. Maybe I should have. I don't know. I mean, I could always upgrade it. Right? I could always upgrade it. Because we're at like 30% full. And like I still want to do Rainbow Gen and tier 6 solar just to see how ridiculous those are. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But I'm not saying it is going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not even going to ask for you guys to comment because I know what you're going to say. I know what you guys are going to say. So yeah, let's turn you back on, right? So you can just produce a bunch of ores for me for a little bit. That should be fine. So now let's see what tier 6 solars look like, right? So we should have the resources to produce the biggest and the baddest of solar panels, right? So let's just look at environmental tech and see if we made the absolute best tier 6 solar that we can get. How crazy would it be? How crazy would it be? So a tier 6 solar needs, that's actually a lightning rods. Where's the solars? I think it's solar array tier 6. That's what we want, right? And that's going to need tier 5, tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. So I'll probably make most of this stuff manually. No sense in doing that. But if we got the environmental tech book, right? So we have the guidebook. Is it in here or is it in here? I don't know. I don't remember where I put it. There you are, guidebook. Let's look at... So these are void ore miners, right? Let's look at the solar arrays, right? So solar arrays, you can put whatever solar cells you want on each tier. It doesn't really matter. But the different solar cells produce different amounts of RF. And I'm pretty sure it's just a straight tier system, right? So like litherite produces less than iridium, produces less than chironite, produces less than palladium. So Atheum solar cells is pretty much what we're going to want to teach you how to make. So let's get the auto-crafting stuff in place for this, just so we can kind of figure it out, right? So you're going to be a thing, and you're going to be a thing, and photovoltaic cells are just the same across the board, so we only have to teach them once. That seems easy enough, right? So now we can get those guys, and we can have all the different types of solar cells from environmental tech. I don't think I've ever made a perfect Atheum-based solar panel like all the way up to the top, right? So I'm just kind of curious, like, what does that look like? I don't know. We're sciencing it up this time, guys. That's how it's gonna go. All right, so that's that. So for a solar array tier 6, we're gonna need 169 cells. And we're also gonna need structure frame tier 6 and a few null modifiers. All right, cool. That's not bad. Now this says litherite solar cell is peak 332 RF a tick. But that's with like the first tier of solar cell. So how much do we get from Atheum? That's the question. So let's get the 12 null modifiers going, right? We're definitely going to want null modifiers. I think the only modifier for solar is like the one that makes it generate a little bit of power when it's raining. So I don't think we need to do that per se. And then we need the 56 structure frame tier 6. Sweet, I have enough nether stars for that. Speaking of, I should probably turn this guy back on. The other thing I might want to do is ramp up my production of wither stars or wither skeleton skulls, because like it feels like we've got a lot of those, but we don't have that many of those going on. I would like to ramp that up too and have more production of that, because I ran out an episode or two back, and that was a little bit painful. It definitely hurt. And I should probably also, while I'm here, see, this keeps happening. So what if we got some quite clear glass? So that at the very least, when you went in there like that, and they started bouncing around, they didn't bounce out of the range of the laser detection. I think that's a smart move. Yep, I think that looks good. Sweet. Okay, cool. So with that, actually, you're already done, aren't you? Cool. 12 of those, 56 of those. Now, the only other thing we need is the 169. 169. That's a lot of Atheum solar cells. We're short on lapis, of all things. Wow. Okay. Now, I'm suspecting that we are not really short on lapis. We just appear to be short on lapis because we're not processing lapis. We are not processing lapis. Now, does it just so happen that we have 2048 lapis going on right now, or am I storing them in a drawer somewhere that's being voided? Or is it just like pure coincidence that 2048 is the amount of lapis we happen to have at this moment? Nope. That was just pure coincidence, wasn't it? So that we could throw lapis into that, you know, into this dude, right? That's one thing we could do. So I could whitelist lapis here. That would mean having to do that. So you know what we could do? I got an idea. It's a little bit of a crazy idea, but it's an idea nonetheless. What if... Now bear with me. What if we removed quartz, diamond, and lapis from these dudes? Blacklist. I got an idea. Advanced item filter on the up. It's going to blacklist quartz, diamond, and lapis. Does that seem fair? So what I'm actually going to make you is insert on brown over here. Right? And I don't think we're going to have a filter on you, as a matter of fact. We shouldn't need one. Okay. Quartz, diamond. Is that all I had going on there? Quartz, diamond, and lapis? Yep, that was it. So you're just, on the up, you're going to blacklist extracting quartz, diamond, and lapis. And the reason for that is now on these guys, you no longer have to have quartz and diamond on your blacklist. So I can use them for something else in the future if I so deem it, right? And then, you know, you're whitelisting what goes in there. So that makes sense, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That matches all these blacklists. Cool, right? So you no longer extract from the top lapis, quartz, and diamond, right? That's all just going to chill in here. But then what we want to do is extract on brown. So what we'll have, extract on brown, always active, and we're going to want an advanced item filter for this dude. And we probably want some speed upgrades in him. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, at least. And then you will be quartz, diamond, and lapis. Cool. So that should make life a little bit better for us. I like that. And then the only thing left here is to get... Hello? Hello? Thank you. Lapis added to the export. Cool. So the lapis should never find its way into these pulverizers now, but it will totally find its way into this bad boy. And you, sir, could also use some speed upgrades. Cool. Because we're absolutely going to be producing a lot of lapis from this. And I think that's a good time. Now, lapis over here, what's your storage upgrade status? Maybe we should throw another gold dude into him because, you know, we're just going to have a lot of lapis from that. And I want to make sure that we don't void any. Because clearly, lapis is what we're a little bit low on. Okay. So now, if we looked at environmental tech and we wanted these guys and we wanted 169 of them. Right? We're getting there. Give that 5 minutes and we'll have enough lapis. So in the meantime, I think I'll craft my Atheum solar panel, right? So we're going to need 4 of every tier solar panel, right, to go up, right? So let's just do that. How about we'll do those 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of you, 4 of you. Oh, CPUs, right. Come on, crafting CPUs, let's go. No crafting CPUs are available, Direwolf. They shouldn't be that bad because they're all just being crafted, right? So a lot of it is the photovoltaic cells. I guess we need a lot of those. That's fair. And then the 4 of these that we're going to need. And that should make everybody happy. Nice. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That looks good. So then we need any photovolt. Actually, yeah, okay. So let's start with you, right? And then I guess we need 4 of each of these, right? Blocks. Four of you. 4 of you. 4 of you. And all the way up. Cool. And then what we'll do is just go with that. Sweet. Solar array Mark 1. Solar array Mark 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Beautiful. And now we just need the Atheum solar panels. 169. We're getting there on the lapis. We're getting there. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we have enough lapis now. 169 Atheum solar panels. That's a lot of stuff. That's going to take a while to craft, I'm going to guess, so we'll be back. All right, guys, so we should be good now with our 169 Atheum solar panels. So this is pretty much the best environmental tech solar generator you can get. Now, granted, you have to remember, unless you set up something to make it daytime automatically all the time, which we could totally do, by the way, you're not going to get 100% of this power, right? You're only going to get 50%, right? Or because night is equal to day in Minecraft, right? So, you know, over the course of a day, you're only going to get as much solar power as you do, right? So that's a thing to keep in mind of. So, like, maybe we'll stick. Maybe we want to do. How about a building gadget with a build to me going on? Are you in build to me mode? You are now. Boop. I made you out of sand. I mean, that wasn't smart, but I guess it gets the job done. So you go here, you undo, and that's cool. All right, so let's assemble this bad boy, and hopefully we've got everything we need. We've got the structure block tier 6, we've got the null modifiers, and we've got the Atheum solar panels. Sweet. So how much architect is this thing going to generate? I guess we're going to find out. That's a lot of resources, though, to be fair. To be fair. Building, building, building. I love multi-blocks that self-build for you. Wow, that's a lot of energy per tick. Is that 1.7 million? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's a lot of RF. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of RF for adding energy to the network. I always have to read that out loud because you know me. I'm gonna do it wrong if I don't. So generators network, engage, and we actually have to turn off our limit here so that we get our 1.7 million RF a tick. Whew. That is some good stuff. Now, to be fair, it took us how many episodes worth of void mining to get enough resources to make one of those? So, like, let's not pretend that that was easy, okay? Lots and lots of time committed. And you're not allowed to tick accelerate, so, like, if you really wanted to, you could, like, ramp up the early game void mining with stuff, but 1.7 million RF a tick ain't too shabby, but we ain't even there yet. We ain't even at the top tier of RF generation. Because you know what's next? Yeah, we're talking rainbow generator. That's the next tier of ridiculous power gen. But, you know, 1.7 more than doubles what we were getting before from all our other ways of getting power combined. That is pretty shenanigans. Should we look at making it daytime all the time? I mean, I think we could, right? I think we could. Because there's a thing from Draconic that can adjust the weather and the time. Yeah. And I'm looking for it because I know it's a thing. I know it's a cool thing. There it is, the Celestial Manipulator. Just needs us a clock and we're good to go. And let's get a daylight sensor. That sound cool? And we might need a NOT gate. What am I missing for a NOT gate? A couple of you dudes. I always like to have like a handful of those on hand. Just to be cool about stuff. So let's pop you somewhere that's, you know, somewhat reasonable. Like back here-ish. That sounds like a nice spot. Like try and center it up. That looks roughly like the center of this area. Boom! Hello, Celestial Manipulator. You're gonna need a flux plug. Luckily I have one of those ready to go. Boop. And you've got power now. Cool. All right, so here's what we can do with this guy. Pretty much anything we want. We can mess with weather, or we can mess with time. Okay? So with weather, we can make it, like, I guess it's raining right now, I guess? Or no, it's not. It's not. So, like, we could make it start a storm. Poof! And that will make it instantly start raining. And I'm going to move away from my rain shield so we can see that that's actually working, right? Because I think if we're over in this area, we're still going to be under the effects of the rain shield, maybe? Oh, no, not too bad. Sweet. Right in here we are. We're right on the border of the rain shield's protection. Sweet. Okay, cool. And then we can also stop rain. Goodbye, rain. That's cool. And it's suddenly no longer raining. How nice is that? All right. We can also mess with time. So we can set the time to whatever we want. Sunrise, midday, noon, sunset, etc. Moonrise, midnight, moon. We can skip 24 hours and we can stop the current operation. So if I wanted to make it midnight, right? Like, because right now it's about noon, right? Which is cool. So if we wanted to set it to midnight... So you can see, like, the sun is at the top of the sky. So, like, this represents the Minecraft world. That's the sun. And he's going to rotate around. And as cool as that thing is, the sounds are a little bit aggressive. Weather, rain, entity bat, thermal expansion, machine pulverizer, draconic evolution, sundial effect. I'm going to remove the machine pulverizer. Yeah, sundial effect is what we want to disable. I grabbed the wrong one. Derp, derp, derp. All right, so that was the manipulator, right? So if we set it to sunrise, no more sound. Ah, the sounds of silence. And it's cool because you can actually see like the stuff moving through the sky and everything, right? I like that. I like that a lot. So the other thing you can do is you can configure redstone control, and you can make it so that when it receives a redstone signal, it will make the sunrise. Cool. So what we can do is we can have this dude set to this dude, right? And it's real quick going to make the sunrise happen. it's going to set it back to sunrise. Because when we placed the redstone signal, it took a moment to update, so it still did a pulse, right? So you can see when it's dark, it's going to set the redstone signal to its sunrise time. That's cool. And then it should be done. Okay, sweet. That's neat, right? How cool is that? So what we're going to do is basically leave that in position. And what will happen is the moment it becomes dark out enough to trip the daylight sensor, you'll see that the draconic doohickey will automatically activate itself, make it daytime. Goodbye, night. Hello, day. Which will probably be annoying for any astral work that I have going on in the future, but we can always just turn this off, right? If we don't want that to happen, we can just break either the daylight sensor. We could probably just break the NOT gate. Yes, breaking the NOT gate would disable it. Another thing we could do is have like an AND gate with a lever. We can have it like turn on and off by lever, but I don't know if that's necessary. So that's what I'm going to call the auto daylight machine. It works pretty well, and it's very basic and simple. However, for now, it's wrapping up point. So Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time, and what we'll do is play with more cool stuff. Maybe we'll get into the rainbow generator. Maybe we'll do something else. I don't know, but I just want to have fun. And I also might want to do a void base at some point. So definitely leave me comments about void base, yay or nay. All right, guys, take it easy.